a land shaped by mountains, seas, and centuries of history, a place where legends still breathe through the forests, rivers, and coastlines. Welcome to Tolitoli Regency, one of the hidden treasures of Central Sulawesi, Indonesia. Have you ever wondered how many extraordinary places still exist beyond the world's spotlight? Places where nature remains breathtaking, traditions remain alive, and history continues to shape the identity of its people. Tolitoli is one of those rare places. Located on the northern coast of Sulawesi Island, Tolitoli Regency covers an area of approximately 4,079.77 square kilometers and is home to more than 242,000 people as of the end of 2024. Its capital is Baulan District, a vibrant gateway connecting coastal communities, agricultural lands, and mountainous landscapes. But Tolitoli is far more than just another district on the map. Its story stretches back through generations, woven together by myth, culture, and history. The name Tolitoli is believed to have originated from the ancient word Totolu, meaning three. According to local tradition, the ancestors of the Tolitoli people descended from three heavenly beings who came to earth through three sacred places. One emerged through Olisan Bulan, also known as the Golden Bamboo. Another descended through Uesaka, a unique type of rattan. The third, a celestial princess, arrived through the hollow trunk of a langsat tree known as Bumbung Lanjat. These legendary figures became the founders of the early Tolitoli communities, leaving behind stories that continue to inspire generations today. Whether viewed as mythology or cultural heritage, these narratives reveal how deeply identity, spirituality, and tradition are woven into the region's history. As centuries passed, the name itself evolved alongside the region. Historical records from the Langay Contract of 1858, signed between Dutch colonial representative Dirk Francois and King Safieddin of Bantilan, referred to the region as Tontoli. Later, in 1918, official Dutch administrative documents, known as the Court of Verklaring, recorded the name as Tolitoli, gradually becoming the modern Tolitoli recognized today. The Regency also experienced an important administrative transformation in modern Indonesia. For many years, the area was officially known as Buol Tolitoli Regency. However, following Law No. 51 of 1999, the region was divided into two separate regencies. Tolitoli became the parent regency, while Buol was established as an independent administrative region. This division marked a new chapter in local governance while preserving the unique heritage of both communities. Nature has been remarkably generous to Tolitoli. Stretching along the Sulawesi Sea to the north and touching the Makassar Strait in parts of its western coastline, the Regency enjoys an extraordinary combination of beaches, islands, fertile valleys, and towering mountain ranges. Elevations rise dramatically from sea level to nearly 2,500 meters above sea level, creating a landscape filled with remarkable ecological diversity. The southern boundary is dominated by the Bosogong mountain range, whose peaks form an impressive natural backbone across the region. Mountains such as Mount Tinombala, Mount Lante, Mount Tongko, and Mount Malino stand as silent guardians overlooking forests that have supported local communities for generations. To the northwest lies another remarkable landscape, the WEMPY DYOCTA mountain range, crowned by Mount Dako. This mountain also forms the heart of the Mount Dako Nature Reserve, an important protected area that safeguards biodiversity and preserves valuable ecosystems found nowhere else. Water is equally central to the life of Tolitoli. Numerous rivers flow from the highlands toward the sea, providing water for agriculture, settlements, and natural ecosystems. Among the most important are the Talau River, Tambun River, Kalangkangan River, Salumpaga River, Banagan River, and Bampoun River. These waterways have shaped transportation, farming, and daily life for countless generations. Geographically, Tolitoli occupies a strategic position within Central Sulawesi. To the north lies the vast Sulawesi Sea. To the east, it borders Buol Regency. To the south, it shares its boundary with Parigi Mutong Regency. To the west, it meets Donggala Regency and the Makassar Strait. This unique location has long made Tolitoli a crossroads where coastal cultures, mountain communities, trade, and tradition have flourished together. Yet perhaps the greatest strength of Tolitoli cannot be measured in square kilometers or population statistics. It lives within the resilience of its people. It echoes through the stories passed from one generation to the next. It stands within forests that still shelter extraordinary biodiversity. It flows through rivers that have sustained life for centuries. And it shines across coastlines where the sea meets one of Indonesia's most beautiful horizons. In a world racing toward the future, places like Tolitoli remind us that progress is not only about skyscrapers and highways, it is also about protecting history, honoring culture, preserving nature, and ensuring that future generations inherit the same beauty that has shaped this land for centuries. Tolitoli may not yet be one of Indonesia's most famous destinations, but those who truly seek authenticity, breathtaking landscapes, living traditions, and untold stories will discover something far more valuable. Because some of the world's greatest places are not the ones everyone already knows. They are the ones waiting quietly to be discovered. And Tolitoli is undoubtedly one of them. But the story of Tolitoli does not end with its mountains, rivers, or ancient legends. It continues in the lives of the people who wake before sunrise, whose hands cultivate fertile land, whose boats venture into open waters, and whose determination has carried this region through generations of change. For centuries, the sea has been more than a beautiful horizon. It has been a source of life. Facing the vast Sulawesi Sea, Tolitoli possesses an extensive coastline blessed with abundant marine resources. Every morning, fishermen sail into waters that have sustained coastal communities for hundreds of years. These seas are home to countless species of fish and marine life, forming an essential pillar of the local economy while preserving traditions that have been passed down from father to son, from mother to daughter. The rhythm of life here follows nature itself. When the sun rises over the eastern mountains, farmers are already tending fields that stretch across valleys and hillsides. Rich volcanic soil and a tropical climate create ideal conditions for agriculture, allowing generations to cultivate crops that have become the backbone of rural livelihoods. Among the most recognizable is clove. Across Tolitoli's highlands, rolling plantations of clove trees cover mountain slopes, filling the air with their unmistakable fragrance during harvest season. These plantations have shaped local history, supported thousands of families, and connected this remote corner of Sulawesi with markets across Indonesia and beyond. Yet agriculture here extends far beyond cloves. Coconut groves sway beneath the tropical sky. Cocoa plantations flourish across fertile landscapes. Corn, rice, cassava, vegetables, and fruits contribute to both food security and economic resilience. Every harvest represents months of dedication, patience, and hope. It is a reminder that prosperity often grows quietly from the hands of ordinary people. The forests surrounding Tolitoli tell another extraordinary story. These forests are among the region's greatest natural treasures. Towering tropical trees provide shelter for countless plant and animal species, while protecting vital watersheds that feed rivers flowing toward the coast. Within protected areas such as Mount Dako Nature Reserve, biodiversity continues to thrive, reminding us how important conservation is for the future of Indonesia. Nature here is not merely scenery, it is infrastructure. It provides clean water, it stabilizes the climate, it protects communities from erosion, it supports agriculture, it sustains wildlife, and ultimately, it sustains human life itself. This relationship between people and nature defines the identity of Tolitoli. Rather than conquering the environment, generations have learned to live alongside it. That balance remains one of the region's greatest strengths. As you travel across Tolitoli, the scenery changes dramatically. One moment you are standing beside calm blue waters. A short drive later, winding roads climb into mist-covered mountains. Dense forests suddenly open into agricultural valleys. Small villages appear between coconut trees, surrounded by landscapes that seem untouched by time. Few places offer such remarkable geographical diversity within a single regency. This diversity has also shaped the culture of its people. Communities throughout Tolitoli maintain traditions rooted in mutual cooperation, family values, and respect for ancestral heritage. Ceremonies, local customs, traditional music, and regional cuisine continue to strengthen social bonds while preserving identities that have survived centuries of transformation. Modernization has reached Tolitoli. Roads continue to improve, education continues to expand, healthcare services continue to develop. Infrastructure continues to connect communities that were once separated by mountains and rivers. But despite these changes, many local traditions remain alive. This balance between progress and preservation is increasingly rare in today's rapidly changing world. Tolitoli demonstrates that development does not require abandoning cultural identity. Instead, true progress can strengthen both economic opportunity and cultural heritage simultaneously. Its strategic position along northern Sulawesi also gives Tolitoli significant potential for regional connectivity. With direct access to the Sulawesi Sea, the Regency holds opportunities for fisheries, maritime trade, tourism, agriculture, and sustainable investment. As Indonesia continues strengthening development across eastern regions, places like Tolitoli are becoming increasingly important. Not because they seek attention, but because their potential has always been there, waiting, growing, quietly preparing for the future. Perhaps that is what makes Tolitoli so remarkable. It does not demand admiration, it earns it. Its mountains never ask to be photographed, its forests never ask to be explored, its beaches never ask to become famous. Yet anyone fortunate enough to witness them understands that beauty does not need publicity to exist. Sometimes, the greatest destinations are the ones that remain authentic, where silence still exists, where stars still fill the night sky, where rivers still run clear, where communities still greet strangers with genuine warmth, where traditions are not performances for tourists, but living parts of everyday life. Tolitoli reminds us that Indonesia's greatest wealth has never been limited to its cities. Its greatest wealth lies in places where culture, history, and nature continue to grow together. Places where every mountain tells a story, every river remembers generations, every coastline carries dreams toward the horizon, and every child born here becomes another chapter in a story that began centuries ago. Because the true strength of a nation is not measured only by its largest cities. It is measured by every village that keeps its traditions alive, every forest that continues to stand, every fisherman who returns safely to shore, every farmer who believes tomorrow's harvest will be better than today's, and every community that refuses to let its identity disappear. Tolitoli is one of those communities, one of Indonesia's quiet giants, one of the nation's hidden frontiers, one of the places that proves the true soul of Indonesia still lives far beyond the crowds. And for those willing to look beyond the ordinary, Tolitoli is not simply a destination. It is a reminder that some of the world's most extraordinary stories are still waiting to be told. But to understand Tolitoli is to understand something even greater. It is to understand why Indonesia is often called one of the richest nations on earth, not only because of what lies beneath its soil, not only because of the oceans that surround its islands, but because every region carries a story unlike any other. And Tolitoli is one of those stories. A story written not by kings alone, not by governments alone, but by ordinary people whose courage has quietly shaped this land for generations. Imagine standing on the northern coastline as dawn breaks across the Sulawesi Sea. The first rays of sunlight paint the horizon in shades of gold and crimson. Fishing boats begin their journey into open waters. Children prepare for school. Farmers walk toward fields that have fed their families for decades. The mountains behind them stand exactly where they have stood for thousands of years, watching, protecting, enduring. There is something deeply humbling about places like this. They remind us how small we truly are. Civilizations rise, empires disappear, borders change, technology transforms the world, yet the mountains remain. The rivers continue to flow. The forests continue to breathe. Nature teaches patience in ways humanity often forgets. Every river flowing through Tolitoli began as a single drop of water. Every towering tree began as a tiny seed. Every thriving community began with families determined to build a better future. Greatness is rarely created overnight. It grows slowly, quietly, one generation at a time. That lesson is visible everywhere across Tolitoli. Its people understand resilience because resilience has always been part of daily life. Living between mountains and sea requires adaptability. The weather changes, the tides shift, harvests vary, markets fluctuate, yet life continues. Communities endure because they have learned that survival is built on cooperation rather than competition. This spirit of mutual support remains one of Indonesia's greatest cultural strengths. Long before modern management theories spoke about teamwork, villages across regions like Tolitoli already understood the power of working together. Neighbors help neighbors, families support one another, communities solve problems collectively. These values cannot be measured in economic reports, yet they represent an extraordinary form of wealth. As the world becomes increasingly connected through technology, there is another lesson Tolitoli offers. Progress should never require forgetting where we came from. Across the world, countless cultures have disappeared, languages have been lost, traditional knowledge has vanished forever. Ancient customs have faded beneath the pressures of modernization. Every time that happens, humanity loses a piece of its collective identity. That is why preserving local heritage matters. It is not simply about protecting the past, it is about enriching the future. The legends of Totolu may have originated centuries ago, but they continue to inspire curiosity today. Traditional ceremonies continue to strengthen community bonds. Local wisdom continues guiding relationships between people and nature. These are not relics, they are living knowledge, knowledge that still has value in the 21st century. The natural environment of Tolitoli deserves equal admiration. Indonesia is recognized as one of the world's most biologically diverse countries. Regions such as Tolitoli contribute significantly to that global importance. Its forests store carbon that helps regulate the Earth's climate. Its rivers support freshwater ecosystems. Its coastal waters provide habitat for marine life that supports fisheries across the region. Protecting these ecosystems is not merely a local responsibility, it is a global one. Every preserved forest contributes to cleaner air. Every protected watershed supports future generations. Every healthy coastline strengthens food security. Conservation is not the opposite of development. True development includes conservation. The strongest economies of the future will be those that understand how to protect natural capital while creating opportunities for people. Tolitoli possesses enormous potential in this regard. Its strategic geography, its agricultural resources, its marine wealth, its biodiversity, its cultural heritage. Together, they form a foundation capable of supporting sustainable growth for decades to come. Tourism also holds remarkable promise. Not mass tourism that overwhelms local communities, not uncontrolled development that destroys natural beauty, but responsible tourism, the kind that respects culture, supports local businesses, protects ecosystems, creates employment, and allows visitors to experience authenticity rather than artificial attractions. Increasingly, travelers around the world seek destinations that remain genuine, places where traditions are real, where food tells stories, where landscapes have not been transformed into amusement parks. Tolitoli offers exactly that. It offers experiences rather than spectacles, meaning rather than marketing, connection rather than consumption. Perhaps this is why hidden places often leave the deepest impressions, because they ask nothing from us except curiosity. They invite us to slow down, to listen, to observe, to appreciate, and in return, they reveal something priceless. They remind us that the world remains far more extraordinary than we often imagine. In an era dominated by headlines, algorithms, and endless distractions, Tolitoli quietly teaches a different philosophy. Not everything valuable needs to be loud. Not everything important seeks attention. Some of the greatest treasures exist in silence. A mountain that has stood for millennia, a fisherman who understands every current of the sea, a grandmother preserving recipes handed down through generations, a child growing up surrounded by forests instead of skyscrapers. These moments rarely appear on international news, yet they represent the very foundation of civilization. Because civilization is ultimately built not only by monuments, it is built by people. And the people of Tolitoli continue writing their story every single day, without seeking applause, without demanding recognition, simply by living with resilience, dignity, and hope. That may be the greatest lesson this remarkable regency has to offer the world. That true greatness is not always found in places everyone already knows. Sometimes it is quietly waiting beyond the horizon, where the mountains meet the sea, and where Indonesia continues to reveal its most extraordinary stories to those willing to discover them. And perhaps that is the greatest privilege of exploration, not simply seeing new places, but allowing those places to change the way we see the world. Tolitoli has never tried to compete with Indonesia's most famous destinations. It has never relied on towering skylines. It has never depended on massive crowds of tourists. Instead, it offers something becoming increasingly rare: authenticity. Every journey through this regency reveals another reminder that nature still shapes everyday life. The roads curve around mountains instead of cutting through them. Villages grow beside rivers that have sustained generations. Fishing communities continue to rise with the tides, while farmers still measure time through planting seasons rather than deadlines. Life here moves differently, not because it has fallen behind, but because it has remained connected to rhythms that humanity has followed for thousands of years. There is wisdom in that rhythm. Modern society often celebrates speed, faster transportation, faster communication, faster production, faster success. Yet nature has always operated according to patience. A forest cannot grow overnight. A mountain cannot be carved in a single year. A river cannot shape a valley in a generation. Everything extraordinary requires time. Tolitoli is living proof of that truth. Its identity was not created in decades. It was shaped across centuries. Every generation inherited traditions from those who came before. Every generation added something new. Every generation became another link in a chain that remains unbroken today. That continuity is remarkable because history is fragile. Cultures disappear when they are forgotten. Languages vanish when they are no longer spoken. Traditional knowledge fades when younger generations lose interest. Yet throughout Tolitoli, many customs continue to survive because communities understand their value, not as museum pieces, but as living parts of everyday life. Food is one example. Across Indonesia, every region tells its own story through flavor. Tolitoli is no exception. Local ingredients gathered from fertile farmland, forests, rivers, and the sea have shaped recipes that reflect generations of adaptation to the environment. Every meal carries more than taste. It carries memory. It carries geography. It carries history. Culture can also be heard. Traditional songs preserve stories long before they are written in books. Music celebrates harvests. It honors ancestors. It marks important moments in community life. Long before digital recordings existed, melodies became libraries of human experience. Culture can also be seen. Traditional clothing reflects identity. Architecture reflects climate. Handcrafted objects reveal extraordinary skill developed over generations. Every detail tells us something about how people understood the world around them. These are not simply traditions, they are evidence of human creativity, evidence that every community contributes something unique to the larger story of humanity. This is why places like Tolitoli matter, not only to Indonesia, but to the world. Because every time a culture survives, humanity becomes richer. Every time biodiversity is protected, the planet becomes stronger. Every time history is preserved, future generations gain another opportunity to understand where they came from. That responsibility belongs to all of us, whether we live in great cities or remote villages, whether we are students, teachers, scientists, entrepreneurs, artists, or travelers. The future depends on how well we protect the treasures we inherited. Tolitoli reminds us that development should never come at the cost of identity. Economic growth is important. Infrastructure matters. Education changes lives. Healthcare saves lives. Technology creates opportunities. But true progress also protects forests. It safeguards rivers. It respects local communities. It preserves languages. It honors history. The strongest nations understand that prosperity and preservation must move forward together. Indonesia's strength has always been its diversity. More than 17,000 islands, hundreds of ethnic groups, hundreds of living languages, thousands of cultural traditions. Each region contributes another chapter to one extraordinary national story. Tolitoli is one of those chapters. Perhaps not the loudest, perhaps not the most widely known, but unquestionably one of the most meaningful. Because every nation is ultimately defined not only by its capitals, it is defined by every regency, every village, every coastline, every mountain, every family that continues believing in tomorrow. When you look at a map, Tolitoli may appear as only one small part of Central Sulawesi, but maps rarely tell the whole story. Maps cannot measure courage. Maps cannot measure tradition. Maps cannot measure hope. Maps cannot measure the dreams carried by children looking toward the future. The true size of a place is never determined by geography alone. It is determined by the impact it leaves on those who experience it. And Tolitoli leaves an unforgettable impression, not because it demands attention, but because it quietly earns respect. This is the Indonesia that many people have yet to discover, the Indonesia beyond the postcards, beyond the famous landmarks, beyond the destinations everyone already knows. An Indonesia where untouched forests still breathe, where mountain peaks still touch the clouds, where rivers continue their timeless journey toward the sea, where legends are remembered, where traditions endure, where communities continue proving that resilience is the foundation of civilization. As the world searches for the next great destination, perhaps the answer has been here all along, waiting patiently, protected by mountains, embraced by the Sulawesi Sea, carried forward by generations who never stopped believing in the value of their homeland. Because Tolitoli is more than a regency. It is a living reminder that Indonesia's greatest treasures are not only found in places that have already become famous, they are found in places where history still whispers through ancient forests, where every sunrise carries new hope, where every river reflects the journey of countless generations, and where the future is being built without forgetting the past. This is Tolitoli, a land of legends, a land of resilience, a land where mountains, oceans, and people have written one remarkable story together for centuries. And perhaps one of Indonesia's greatest stories is only just beginning. But every great story ultimately asks a question: what kind of future will we choose? Will we become a generation remembered only for what it built? Or will we become the generation remembered for what it chose to protect? That question echoes across Tolitoli, not through speeches, not through monuments, but through every forest that still stands, every river that continues to flow, every child who grows up knowing the stories of their ancestors, every family that refuses to let tradition disappear. The future of Tolitoli is not written in stone. It is written every single day. It is written by teachers who inspire the next generation, by fishermen who understand the sea better than any satellite ever could, by farmers who read the changing seasons with remarkable wisdom, by entrepreneurs creating opportunities for local communities, by young people who dream of building a stronger future without abandoning the values that shape them. This is how nations grow, not through miracles, but through millions of ordinary acts repeated with extraordinary commitment. Every successful harvest, every student who graduates, every bridge completed, every small business that survives, every child who chooses education, every family that believes tomorrow can be better than today. These moments rarely become headlines, yet together they become history. History is never created by one spectacular moment alone. It is built through countless ordinary moments connected across generations. Tolitoli understands this. Its story has never been about sudden transformation. It has always been about steady perseverance, the kind of perseverance that survives changing governments, changing economies, changing technologies, and changing generations. Because values endure longer than trends. Across Indonesia, every region contributes something unique to the nation's identity. Some are known for volcanoes, some for ancient temples, some for bustling cities, some for world-famous beaches. Tolitoli contributes something equally valuable. It reminds Indonesia that quiet places matter, that remote communities matter, that forgotten stories matter. Because a nation's greatness is never measured only by what the world already celebrates. It is measured by how well it values every corner of its homeland. Imagine flying above northern Sulawesi. Below you, the coastline stretches endlessly beside the deep blue waters of the Sulawesi Sea. Mountain ranges rise dramatically from the land. Rivers weave silver paths toward the ocean. Small villages appear between forests and plantations. From above, it becomes impossible to separate people from nature. Everything is connected. The mountains feed the rivers nourish the valleys sustain communities, the communities protect traditions, the traditions preserve identity. This is not merely geography, it is an ecosystem of life, an ecosystem where nature and humanity continue shaping one another. Perhaps that is why Indonesia is often described as one of the world's greatest archipelagos, not simply because of the number of islands, but because every island tells a different story. Every province reveals another chapter. Every regency offers another perspective, and together they form one remarkable nation unlike any other on earth. Tolitoli is one of those chapters, a chapter still waiting to be read by millions of people around the world. A chapter filled with breathtaking landscapes, ancient legends, rich cultural heritage, hard-working communities, and extraordinary natural beauty. The more we discover places like this, the more we understand that Indonesia cannot be summarized by a handful of famous destinations. Its true identity lives far beyond them. It lives in places where tourism has not replaced authenticity, where forests still outnumber buildings, where the night sky still reveals thousands of stars, where children still grow up surrounded by rivers instead of concrete walls, where silence still exists. And silence in today's world may be one of the rarest luxuries of all. There is a reason explorers throughout history continued searching for places beyond the horizon, because curiosity is part of being human. Every generation has looked toward distant mountains, wondering what lies beyond. Every sailor has followed unfamiliar coastlines, hoping to discover something extraordinary. Every traveler has learned that the greatest journeys often begin where certainty ends. Tolitoli rewards that curiosity, not with extravagant attractions, but with authenticity, with genuine human connection, with landscapes untouched by excess, with stories that cannot be manufactured, with moments that remain in memory long after the journey ends. Years from now, buildings may change, roads may become wider, technology will certainly become more advanced, new industries will emerge, new opportunities will appear. But one hope should remain unchanged, that Tolitoli never loses the qualities that make it extraordinary today. Its forests, its rivers, its mountains, its coastline, its traditions, its history, its people. Because once authenticity disappears, no amount of investment can truly bring it back. The greatest inheritance any generation can leave is not only wealth, it is identity, it is culture, it is clean rivers, healthy forests, thriving communities, living traditions, and hope. Hope that the next generation will inherit a homeland even more beautiful than the one we know today. That is the true meaning of sustainable progress, not choosing between development and conservation, but proving that both can succeed together. Tolitoli stands as a powerful reminder that the future belongs to those who understand this balance, a balance between ambition and humility, between innovation and tradition, between economic growth and environmental stewardship, between remembering the past and embracing the future. And perhaps one day, when people around the world speak about Indonesia's most inspiring places, they will no longer mention only the destinations everyone already knows. They will also speak of a remarkable regency on the northern shores of Sulawesi, a place where mountains touch the clouds, where rivers carve ancient paths toward the sea, where legends still live, where resilience defines everyday life, and where the true spirit of Indonesia continues to shine. Because Tolitoli is not simply a place you visit, it is a place that changes the way you understand Indonesia. And once you have discovered its story, you will never look at this extraordinary nation the same way again.